Hello and welcome to this session where our primary focus will be to cover the load combination database within Structural Engineering Library. And then we'll wind up by spending a little bit of time on a couple of related topics, one of them being selecting a load combination set in a calculation, and the other one being to draw a distinction between the selected governing code in a project file and the selected load combination set within a given calculation. So let's start out by taking a look at the load combination database. I'll come up to the main menu and choose Databases, Load Combinations, and that opens the load combination database. The screen is generally divided into two portions. The left portion lists the load combination sets that exist on the current machine, and I would add that some of these are sets that ship with the program, and then a couple of them are custom load combinations sets that I've created on my machine. So this won't look completely familiar to all of you. The right hand side of the screen is used to display the detailed load combinations and factors for the selected load combination set. So right now I have a CE705 selected as the load combination set, and then I can come over to the right hand side and I can look at either the factored combinations that are part of the ASCE 705 set, or I can view the service level combinations that have been defined for this set. So let's start back over here at the left hand side and take a look at some of the options that we have. We have buttons across the top that allow us to delete the selected load combination set or add a new load combination set that we would define. Similar to add is the option to copy the selected load combination set and provide it with a new name. This can be convenient if you generally like, for instance, the load combinations that are currently defined in our IBC 2009 set, but you might see just a few places where you need to make some modifications for whatever reason, whether they happen to be project-specific requirements, user or client-specific requirements, or if they might have reference to an office standard that you see fit to make some modifications to the load factors that are provided. So this is a great example of where you might take off by selecting a set and copying it, renaming it, and then making subtle modifications. The other option here is just to simply edit the code reference name. So if you want it to appear differently on your output, then you can select a load combination set and click this button and change the name that it uses to refer to that set. Now let's take a look over here at the right hand side. We're currently viewing the load combinations that are defined for our IBC 2009 set. Notice that there's a toggle to show factored level combinations or service level combinations. Now when a load combination set is created in the Structural Engineering Library, it's a requirement that there be at least one factored level combination and one service level combination in that set. The reason being is because in all of our modules, some of which rely on factored level load combos and some of which rely on service level combos, we provide you with the option to just select the set from the list that you've defined here. So we need to ensure that you have provided at least one of each type of load combination so that it'll serve the purposes of the module and it'll run properly. Taking a look at the buttons over here, we have the option to edit the highlighted load combination. So if we wanted to actually come into the IBC 2009 set and then select a particular combination and edit some values, we can click this button and that opens the Specify Load Combinations dialog where we could make specific edits and then save those, and those would then be populated back into the named or selected load combination set. And then we also have the option to add and delete individual combinations to the selected set. Moving down the screen, the other thing that I'd point out is that there is a Set as Default button. And this relates to the note down below that says that this little triangle icon indicates the default load combination set that will be used for all new calculations on your machine. So if we look up into the load combination set list, we can see that I currently have ASCE 705 indicated as the default, so whenever I add a new calculation on my machine and I move over to the Load Combinations tab, I'll see that it has come in with the ASCE 705 load combination set by default. Okay, so that is a thorough look at the tools and icons that are available for working with the load combination database. Just to wrap up, a couple of comments. Keep in mind that what we ship with the program are the basic load combination sets, and of course, as you know, with load combinations, oftentimes the factors are dependent upon the nature of the loads. For instance, this earth pressure load, sometimes that will take on a different factor depending upon the nature of the earth pressure load and whether it tends to be additive or subtractive with regard to the primary structural function of the load combination. So keep in mind that these are intended to be a starting point, and it is we have every expectation that you'll want to go in and modify these things, so we've given you plenty of opportunities to make those edits both at the load combination set level in terms of editing the factors or copying the load combination set and modifying them for all future calcs, as well as making calculation-specific modifications by simply unlocking the factors within the module and making edits that don't reflect back to the primary load combination set, but that only apply to that particular calculation. And that topic is covered in the individual calculation videos if you need more information on that. Okay, with that, what I'd like to do now is I'd like to close the load combination database, and then I'd like to just open a project file so that I can move into a calculation here, and I'd like to show how the load combination set is actually selected once you're working within a particular calculation. So this happens to be a wood beam calculation. I'll move directly to the load combinations tab, and we can see that the last time that I worked in this calculation, I have selected the IBC 2009 load combination set as the one that I want to use for this calc. But let's just say that my thoughts have changed and that for whatever reason I now want to go with IBC 2006. What I can do is use this Change Load Combination Set button, click that, and from the pop-up or drop-down list box I can choose IBC 2006, and now it reflects the IBC 2006 load combination set, and all of these factors reflect the factors that are defined in that load combination set. So very simple and very quick and easy to select the load combination set of interest within your calculation as you see fit. Now, the last thing that we wanted to cover was to draw a distinction between the selected governing code and the selected load combination set. In this calculation, I've just shown you how I can change from the IBC 2009 combos to the IBC 2006 combos, or I could even change to, for instance, the ASCE 705 combos. This is a calculation-specific setting, and I'm free to select from any of the load combination sets that are defined in my installation. That could also include something like custom combinations or office standard load combinations. Again, these are two user-specific sets that I've defined just to demonstrate the purpose, but perhaps your office has developed a standard that wants to apply certain load factors to certain load combinations. This is just a very simple and basic load combination set that I defined with only one load combination, just to illustrate the point that you have complete control over the combinations that are used in your calculations. So this is a demonstration of how you would select a load combination set that could have no text reference or no other identifiable reference to the particular governing code that's used in this calculation. Now, just to finish that thought off, let's take a look at the governing code for this calculation. So I'll expand the project manager and then come up into the general category and then open the building code information item. And we can see that I do happen to have IBC 2009 selected, but it could have just as easily been IBC 2006. And as time goes on, we'll have other governing code options in here. And so this is a completely separate choice, a separate decision that needs to be made. And this is made at the project file level. So this hopefully is a demonstration of why the building code selection and the load combination set are completely different items in the structural engineering library. It is true that the selected governing code tends to steer us towards certain load combinations, but it's not a one-to-one relationship. It's nothing that's conclusive. It's nothing that can be hard-coded to definitely select a particular set of load combinations on the basis of what you've chosen for a governing code. And so we've provided those as two separate inputs because logically they really do deserve a decision of their own. Okay, well hopefully that's been helpful. Hopefully you have a better understanding of how to work with the load combination database at this point, how to open it and view it, and you have seen how you can select a desired load combination set within a particular calculation, and now you also hopefully understand a little bit better the distinction between the governing code that applies to the current project file and the selected load combination set that applies to a selected calculation. Thanks very much for your time. Take care and have a great day.